Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
On a Friday, after an historic week, it is single best idea. Too many voices to pick from today. Thank you, particularly to Dartmouth College. To have Douglas Irwin with us the other day and David Blanchflower this morning was an honor, but so many others. To have Claudia Sam with us and Neil Dutta on the Jobs Day. All the work the team has done, particularly to Bloomberg people at Bloomberg News and Bloomberg Intelligence weighing in on this historic moment. Let us start with Neil Dutta. After the jobs report, Neil Dutta here on the state of the consumer in what was fascinating, looking at the upper decile, upper quintile of American prosperity. When in doubt, save.
What you're going to see is basically the high-end consumer, which has been the core source of support for consumer spending over the last year. They are going to jack up their savings rate as a result of this. I mean, you're in a situation now where stock prices are going down, right? The elevated level of stock prices is one reason why net worth was rising relative to income last year, which is why consumer spending was so strong, because people drew down their savings as a result. You have the opposite situation now. So what do you think is going to happen with the savings rate? It's going to go up. As a baseline, consumer spending wasn't going to be really much stronger than 1.5% right now, because that's where real income growth has kind of been tracking, net of transfers. So we've already seen quite sluggish real income growth. So even a stable savings rate gets you that. If the savings rate's going up, you're going to have something weaker than that. So you can see already how it's very challenging to get to anything better than really. The best I can come up with is like a below potential growth environment still.
Neil Dutta there, he was absolutely brilliant on the labor dynamic. He made very clear that he's more interested in the revisions back 1 month, back 2 months than the actual data point today. I just noticed it's a blur here in our world headquarters where you see headlines out of all different sources of media. To see Canada lose 22,000 jobs today is really something. We didn't talk about that live on the program. We had the pleasure of speaking with Kate Moore of Citigroup. She's in charge of Citigroup Wealth Management and coming up with a cogent tone on the present crisis, the view forward. Kate Moore of Citi.
Well, here's what I don't want to hear them say, Paul. I don't want them to say we're pulling guidance altogether because we have no visibility. I want them to at least present scenario analysis and some ways that they may be able to buffer the challenges over coming months and quarters. This scenario where companies pull guidance would be so sentiment negative. I think we see actually a big leg down in that scenario. And I'm going to be watching very, very closely what companies talk about, not just for the next 3 months, but for the balance of the year. You know, whatever they talk about in terms of their first 3 months of performance, yes, that's going to be important, but it's really going to be the earnings revisions that come out of this reporting season that are going to be critical for risk.
Kate Moore of Citi there. And yesterday at the game forum of Quinnipiac College, 1,600 kids, Matt Luzetti said exactly the same thing from Deutsche Bank that you just heard from Kate Moore. This idea that within an economy, things can drift away. We'll have to see how that goes. Thank you so much for your interest this week. On YouTube, subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts and out on YouTube Podcasts. This is Single Best Idea.